Alrighty guys, welcome in. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than usual, because today we're going into a game that holds a pretty special place in my heart, called Destiny 2. Now, I haven't played this game for long, but it's been a part of my life for longer than I've played it. I grew up watching my father play it. It was a whole thing, and it was one of my favorite pastimes. And what I want to be talking about today is the state of Destiny 2 and why I think you should still keep with it. Because I know today, at least right now, I'm not sure how this will hold up in the future, but a lot of people are leaving Destiny. A lot of people are going to play other games, and I mean, that's fair in the grand scheme of things. But I don't want everybody to jump the gun and just say, oh, Destiny's this horrible game, we should stop playing it. Because yes, there are some fundamental problems with this game. But does it completely ruin it? And that's sort of what we're going to be talking about today. Because in my heart of hearts, I really don't want this game to go under. Because it's a really well-made game. Like, if you really think about it, okay? Destiny 2 is, well, Destiny is a, what, 7-year-old game? And the Destiny franchise just turned 10 recently. And that's sort of like the point where it went all downhill all at once. And so I sort of want to talk about, well, why exactly did it do that? And why I don't think that's true. So we're gonna start where I started playing Destiny, and where, according to most accounts, a lot of the problems started. And that's during Lightfall. So Lightfall, now, I think this might be one of the most controversial things I say. Lightfall was actually my favorite expansion. And I do not understand why people disliked it so much. Sure, the storyline wasn't the greatest. I see where it didn't really fit of where Destiny was going. I can see why people think Nimbus was a little, like, cringy during most of the campaign. But all that kinda has to be overlooked and seen. Like, that was the most fun experience I think I've ever had playing a game. 'Cause it really, especially playing Titan like I was, it really made you feel like you were important, you were at the front of the line, and you sort of had to protect everything. And then, you know, it didn't work, which, you know, doesn't bode extremely well. But it was a really cool idea for an expansion, and I feel like people took value away from the expansion because they didn't like Bungie as the company at the time. And I mean, that's partially fair, but like, for such a complex game, you can only expect so much, and everybody's human, sorta. So like, okay, so let's first go into the Bungie as a company, because I know that's a really big driving factor of all the recent events. So, if you're watching this, you probably know about the 2 layoffs that happened. One right before the first predicted launch of Final Shape, which then got delayed. That was the first big layoff. And then the second big layoff happened right after Final Shape. Now, there's a part to this that sort of makes sense. Well, the first layoff was just kind of stupid. Like, that one didn't really make logistical sense to me. I don't know, personally, I'm not Bungie, I'm not the one making the decisions. But it just didn't really make sense that they would do that. Then the second layoff makes a little bit more sense. The storyline had come to a close, they didn't really need as many people working on Bungie and Destiny 2 specifically as a project. Now, of course, the reason for the layoffs might have been a little, what's the word? might have been a little corrupt, because with the new manager, you know, there's been a couple of questionable activities with him, and I mean, you're gonna have that in the world. Like, there is no, like, perfect company where all the management has been amazing, but I feel like we as a player base take out all of our problems with Bungie as management and take it out on Bungie as the developers and as the game itself. And I feel like part of the reason people have stopped enjoying the game is because you honestly just need to take a step back. Like, sure, they're not in the greatest position. Sure, a lot of people are getting laid off, the content is slowing down, but that doesn't immediately make the game bad. Like, it's like, this game still has the best gunplay I have ever felt in a game, ever. It still has the best, like, I play Risk of Rain 2. If you know the channel, you know that I love Risk of Rain 2. And, like, that gameplay feels amazing, but, like, just the way the abilities function in Destiny, and the way everything just flows in a build, it's unmatched. And that's why I love Destiny. It's not because the management is good, it's not because the storyline is particularly good, it's because the gameplay is fun. And I feel like we're sort of, as a Destiny community, losing track of the reason to play the game. Like, everybody's like, oh, we're not gonna get all this content anymore. And we're still getting content. Everybody's acting like it's the end-all be-all of the entire series. We're still gonna get a sizable amount of content. We're still gonna get, after the episodes, we're still gonna get 2 seasons, which are free. Like, nobody's talking about that. That's a huge deal for the Destiny franchise, because I know most of my friends haven't spent a dime on this game, and they really enjoy playing the game, but they don't enjoy paying for the game. So having a completely free seasonal content, like, that's gonna, like, sure, we only get them half as much, but at least we get them for free. Like, there's a silver lining there, which I feel like people are sort of ignoring. Then there's also the fact that we're still gonna get major updates 4 times a year, and we're still gonna get the content packs. Like, it's not like there's no more content in the game. There's gonna be less content, sure, but that's what everybody expected. And who knows? Maybe we just have to stick it out for a little bit. Cause, like, at the beginning of Destiny, there wasn't that much content. Like, am I wrong? So they're starting a whole new sort of storyline, basically from scratch. They're going to need a minute to get everything in order, and sure, they might have already planned for everything beforehand, but, like, if we say it was Final Shape, they just did Final Shape, and then they had no clue what they were gonna do going forward, I get it. They're going to want a year or 2 of slower content so they can figure out how Destiny is going to look going forward. And of course, they're trying. Like, it's not... The development team is really trying to keep it afloat. And I think that's because the management sort of realized that they're doing it wrong. And they're trying to, like, sort of smooth it over a bit. It's not the best try that they can have, but it's definitely better than nothing. And I feel like, yeah, the game's just getting a little too much hate right now. Like, sure, I do agree. The company, as Bungie the company, they aren't putting as much into Destiny as most of the community would like to see right now. And that's a pretty large problem. But that still doesn't take away from Destiny as a game. You sort of gotta take a step away from Bungie and just sort of enjoy Destiny, what is in Destiny, for just Destiny. And I'm not saying you have to play the game every day, 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. Like, Destiny is definitely a game that now, at least, you sort of have to enjoy by just taking a step back and just sort of, like, playing at the end of each episode for the episodes, or play it when all the seasonal content comes out. Because if you play Destiny too much, you're not going to enjoy the game that much anymore. You know, it's just how it works for any game. If you play it too much, it's not going to be fun anymore. There's not going to be stuff left to do in the game, and you're going to start being bored. But that doesn't mean you should take it out on everything that Destiny stands for. Like, just because it's not your favorite game right now doesn't mean it's not going to become your favorite game again. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that maybe you played it too much. Maybe you need to take a little bit of a break from the game. You know, sort of take a step back. And I feel like we sort of forget that as a community a bit. Especially recently during this whole Destiny's ending, it's all bad. Because, like, even if Destiny ends, it's still going to be left in a state where it's a relativistically fun game to play. Same reason people still play Destiny 1, because although nothing new is being added to it, it's still a fun game to play. Like, the mechanics are still enjoyable, you know? Like, and I feel like that's sort of taken away from by the fact that everybody's just so scared about it online, sort of. They feel like, and I get it. I do get it. If you've been playing this game for 10 years and you see this management making every mistake, I get it. I do almost the same thing with Minecraft right now, and Mojang making the game horrible. But like, you just kind of got to take a step back, say, it's just a game, I'm just going to play it every once in a while to have fun, and then I'm just going to not care about it for the rest of the time. Because I get some people have made careers out of this game, and that's great for them, but that was in your if you really truly did that, you always sort of knew in the back of your mind that it's a game. It's not gonna last forever. Just like I hope the Call of Duty series won't last forever, because there are way too many games and they aren't even good. But that's a subject for a different video. There eventually comes a time where either there isn't new content or there isn't interesting content for that game. And like, you just sort of have to accept that. You have to accept that there are other games out there too. And I get it. I get that people say, well, this game has taken so much of my time and money, I don't want to just leave it behind. And you don't have to just leave it behind. I'm not asking you to just leave it behind. I'm asking you to take a break whenever you're feeling sick of the game. I'm asking you to just take a step back, take 2 months off of Destiny, maybe come back to it, and you'll realize that it is a great game. And I know Grenader Jake in one of his videos touched on it. This is a great game. The gunplay is amazing, the abilities feel nice, and it's like, you can't really nitpick it too much, because it is just a game. Like, you're never gonna have a perfect game. You're never gonna have a perfect company running that game. You're never gonna have a perfect content release schedule for that game. All you can really do is just take a step back, appreciate it once a month, play it once a month, enjoy it once a month, and then you just sort of have to, as soon as you start feeling that same sense of annoyed or angry or whatever it may be, you just sort of have to take another step back. You just have to say, it is what it is, I can't really change it, it's just a game, and it's a fun game, again. Like, that's why I'm making this video at all, is because I feel like people are taking away from how enjoyable this game is by being so pessimistic about the future of the game. And that's about all I have to say. But that's it for the talking part of the video. But if you've made it this far in the video, I just wanna give you a little present. You can take this build. I have constructed this build myself. Right when Final Shape came out. It's an amazing build. I know the content that you were watching, the gameplay you were watching didn't really reflect that, because I haven't played the game in 3 months and I'm sort of still getting my Destiny legs back. But I'll leave the dim link in the description, of course. This is the role on the Warlock Bond. I'll just show you all of this. You just want to take a look at it real quick. Here are the weapons. You're going to want Traveler's Chosen with the Catalyst. The Catalyst is essential for this. Like anything really in these two slots, these are just what I had on hand. And then, the wrong thing. Of course, your mods here. And artifact mods, I don't really do artifact mods because I want my builds to be still viable even after big expansion or big changes or new season or whatever it may be. But yeah, so with this build and with this little other opinion, I just want you to keep an open mind, and I just want you to maybe stick with Destiny a little bit longer. Because this isn't the end of days for it. It's just a little bit of a rough time. Well, that's all from me, and I'll see you next time.